Welcome to Spiritual and Ambitious. I'm your host, Whitney McNeil. I'm a certified medium and spiritual teacher, and I help spiritual and ambitious souls just like you live your life purpose through your career and attract abundance by connecting into your intuition and spirit guides. Let's get spiritual and ambitious. Hello and happy October 29th. We're a few days away from Halloween, and all this month we've been doing Sunday Spirit Messages. This is going to be our last mini episode. If you've been loving these Spirit Message Sunday episodes, I'd love for you to tell me over on Instagram. You can follow me at Messenger of Spirit, message me, reach out and tell me that you love them. We may consider them in the future or doing them more regularly, but I want to hear from you first. Also, make sure to check the show notes. Check beneath this video on YouTube or beneath where you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you are, so that you can see some of the happenings that's going on for Halloween. So just in a few days, we've got some great things going on. But let's go ahead and get started with the Messenger of Spirit Oracle deck and see what Spirit wants to share here. All right. So Spirit is talking about the owl. So this is listen to your inner voice. This is a card of clairaudience. This is opening up that clairaudience. And for those of you who want to develop your intuition, I always recommend 4 intuitive languages. That'll be in the show notes. But this is about listening to your inner voice instead of everybody else's opinion about stuff. So make sure you are listening in to your own voice, listening into your intuition, listening in from your spirit guides and from your higher self. And I love this beautiful artwork on this card. And this is very Halloween vibes, right? So it's coming up. Again, check the show notes for some specials that we've got that are happening on Halloween. And we've got some fun events coming up. All right, so the next card is your environment. So before I give you this message, I want you to picture that you are a beautiful flower in a pot of soil. And I want you to pay attention to your soil. Is it nourishing and helpful, or is it dry and arid? Is it working for you or not? And that soil is your environment. That is your house. That is your location of where you live, the people around you. There's so many components that make up soil. And this is your environment needs a change. So there's something about that soil that needs to be moved, sifted through, whether it's the people that live with you. Maybe it is the coworkers that are around you. Maybe it is the actual location physically of where you are and it needs a change. Maybe it is the actual house that needs to change, but your environment needs a change. A trip or change is coming. So sometimes we just need to get out of our environment and we need to take a trip. We need to move our energy. We need to just shift it. So this is for this week. Pay attention because the messages that are coming in, right? Listen to your own inner voice. Your environment needs a change. May not make the most logical sense. But this week is that week of, I've been thinking about going somewhere. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make those plans. Or I'm going to take that weekend getaway. Or I need to get outside and move my energy. Or I finally need to put my house up for sale. Or I'm going to start looking for a house. This is, I need some sort of shift in my environment. And maybe it's just a redecorating, but this is something that's really calling you. So please pay attention for it. Next card is the empath. Alone time is needed. So interesting that we have 2 cards that represent the intuitive languages that I teach. I talk about the seer, the owl, the empath, and the channeler inside of my program for intuitive languages. And we've got 2 of them. So this is heavy on the developing your intuition this week, heavy on listening to your intuition. So it could be listening or feeling into what feels good and not. So if you are struggling with finding what is in your environment that's not working for you, really allow yourself more alone time. This is really important, especially if you have kids or you live with other people. Allow yourself boundaries because oftentimes we can't make decisions about what needs to be changed because we are feeling everybody else's stuff and we are clouded. So when we have alone time, we can really get in touch with our own energy and reflect and say, you know what? Now I know clearly what needs to happen. So schedule alone time, whether it be you walking in the woods, you having hours by yourself in your room, whatever it is, alone time, meaning nobody else. With this, you might even want to take that trip by yourself too. Just saying. All right, that's been a mini episode, and thanks for hanging out with me. I will be back on Wednesday with a brand new episode, but until then, here's to staying spiritual and ambitious. Thanks so much for listening to this episode, and if you loved it, would you please share it with a friend? I would also love your review and a reminder to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can find me at messengerofspirit.com, and you can take the 4 Intuitive Languages quiz and find show notes there too. If you want to connect on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, you can find me at Messenger of Spirit. I'll meet you right here next week. Here's to staying spiritual and ambitious.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.